Together and share the wonders of Psalm 23. I hope that you're enjoying this podcast. I hope that it's becoming meaningful to you. And again, I want to encourage you to read the 23rd Psalm. You know what? Read it at least once a week and just allow the Spirit of God to bring out its wonder, its beauty, the depths of this incredible psalm. I hope you can picture David writing this song and just telling his heart and his mind to believe that God is his shepherd and he would take care of him. He's a young shepherd boy writing this song, so he knows, he understands it. I can just imagine the intensity of the song and the wonder of this thing as he's writing. It's probably one of those songs you just got through writing and goes, boy, that just really came from my heart and has touched my heart. So I hope that it's doing that with you too. I just want to encourage you to keep reading the 23rd Psalm. Have you ever felt a sense or a need for a deeper rest with God? A rest that has many times escaped you? Would you not just love to slow down your pace and enjoy the simple things of life? In recent history, a fascinating phenomenon has happened. Psychologists and sociologists began to proclaim that we would soon have a crisis of too much leisure time. Can you imagine? So you're thinking, I don't get any leisure time. Technology was going to free up our busy schedules, and we would find ourselves with not much to do. Well, they were wrong. The simplicity of technology led to more hours of work per week. We now have the ability to bring our work home on our laptops, our iPads. These supposedly time-saving technologies didn't save us any time at all. Instead, they drove us to be more driven and more productive. By best accounts, leisure time has escaped most of us, and we're finding that Americans are more tired now than ever before. Are you one of those? And how ironic that, we do so much time off our times and doing our best to catch up because we're so far behind. Ironically, too, people are more bored than ever today. They're afraid to spend time alone. They've done all they can to escape from themselves. They thought they'd achieved the ultimate emotional fix in technology, but soon discovered that it was just a cold piece of machinery that had no feelings or no emotions. And what we thought would bring complete stimulation actually brought us complete insomnia. We're restless, and nothing is satisfying our souls. Do you remember what God's original plan was for mankind? In Genesis 2, verses 2 to 3, we read, And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And the Lord blessed the seventh day and set it apart. We use the word sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which he had created and which he had made. God laid out a plan for man that was meant to protect him. Rest was given to him so that he would have boundaries or limits to what he should do with his time. Do you have boundaries and limits? I mean, if God set those boundaries and limits, don't you think we need them? Now, there's two key words used in Genesis 2, verses 2 to 3. The first one is finished. God had ended his work of creation and accomplished everything that he had set out to do. His plan of creation was done, and he ceased from his labor, having successfully completed his work. The second key word is rested. God stopped from his work of creation. He was done. He had come to the end of his workday, and it was time to rest. We get the English word Sabbath from the Hebrew word. The Sabbath is observed from sunset Friday evening to sundown Saturday evening. It's marked by a time of rest, worship, and biblical study. The purpose for this rest, you ready for this? The purpose for this rest was to protect mankind from overworking and getting burned out. And as we know, burnout leads to all kinds of health issues and can ultimately take a person's life. In Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, Moses wrote down the instructions that God gave him concerning the reason for the Sabbath. He wrote, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." It would seem that rest and holiness go hand in hand. In holiness, you're to keep things clean and pure and set apart for God's use. The rest that God laid out for us were boundaries that would force us to worship Him, honor and trust Him, and to follow Him and rely upon Him. See, business can become our God. The Creator knew this and instituted a rest or a Sabbath that would make us stop and reevaluate who was really in charge of our well-being. See, worship and honor that are given to God always results in a heart filled with peace and rest. That's why the psalmist goes on to say in verse 2 of Psalm 23, ready? He makes me lie down. How does one find the time to lie down? Again, a lot of you are thinking, boy, wouldn't I love to take a nap? Again, our lives are so complicated. There's just not enough time in a day to take a rest, much less to lie down. So how do we get ourselves to the place where we can lie down? The first thing we must do is to free ourselves from the fears that steal our rest. Fear can strike us at any moment. Your heart begins to race, your blood pressure strikes, your neck muscles tighten, and you break out in a cold sweat. Fear can completely knock you off your feet and shut down your emotions and ability to reason or to think clearly. We will typically have the desire to run when this type of fear kicks in. It's at moments like these that our Good Shepherd wants us to listen to His instructions to lie down. Running is not the answer. Trusting that God understands our fears and knows what is best for us will help us to lie down and rest. And the second thing that would help us to lie down is being committed to resolving conflict with those whom we've wronged. Conflict is the enemy of rest. Let me say it again. Conflict is the enemy of rest. Conflict produces restlessness and discord among our friends and our families. Conflict is only out to cause us pain and hurt. Conflict always sets out to destroy. And in order for us to find true rest, we must resolve conflict. The third thing that helps us to lie down is making sure there's nothing that might be distracting us from hearing the shepherd's command to lie down. There are so many distractions today: the news, our insecurities, no hope, the worries of life, undisciplined mind, an out-of-control lifestyle, spiritual weaknesses, emotional, physical pain. These can cause us to not lie down and find rest. The shepherd of our soul longs to take care of all of our needs, and in order for us to find the pastures to lie down in, we must allow Him to take care of us. Peter wrote in 1 Peter 5:7, "Cast all your cares upon Him, because He cares for you." And lastly, you cannot be hungry and find rest for yourself. A good shepherd will find those green pastures where there's ample water and good feeding ranges. His goal is to have enough for each sheep so that they will be content enough to want to lie down and trust in the provisions of the Good Shepherd. You see, the point is that the Good Shepherd knows what it takes to provide for His sheep. The Lord knows what it takes to provide for you and me. We're all in need. We hunger for love and acceptance, power and position and relationship, and we all long for God. It's sad that we haven't found the green pastures that the shepherd has provided for us. It seems that we're always looking for greener pastures on the other side of our life's journeys. Where are you in your journey today? I want to encourage you to look at your life and do a good self-evaluation. Are you off running by yourself? Are you afraid? Are you fearful? Are you unsure of tomorrow? Has worry and anxiety gotten a hold of your heart and your mind? Are you, as we would say, are you out of control? Have you lost purpose for your life? Cry out to God. Turn to the Good Shepherd. He knows the best places for you to lie down. He knows what's best for your life today and tomorrow and the next day. And He wants to lead you. He wants to walk with you. He's standing right there waiting. Invite Him to be a part of your life today. So whatever it is that's got a hold of you, that's taking you away from understanding God's love, His compassion, His kindness, and whatever that is, give it back to Him and say, God, this is yours, and I'm going to trust you today. My prayer is that today you'll find rest. You'll find rest in the Good Shepherd, and that today will be better than yesterday, and that tomorrow will even be better than today. Why? Because you'll learn to trust in your Savior. Blessings upon you today. I pray that God's peace will be evident in your